Today we look at who God is and we are to become. When you look the aspect of our life, who God is and we have to become. One of the aspect of God is to become wise, and the wisdom of God is really God wise. God created us in His image and in His likeness in the book of Genesis. The thing is this that if God has created us in His image and His likeness, and we are in His likeness, and one of His attributes is to become wise, then we need to become wise because God is living in us. In the book of James, chapter 1, verse 5, it says, if any of you lack wisdom to guide him through a decision or circumstance, he is to ask God, who gives to everyone generously without rebuke or blame, and it will be given to him. There is an assumption that every one of us will have wisdom, but the fact is that we know that we live in the world that we got so many issues, circumstances, things that we face in life, and the fact is that we know that most times our knowledge, even our understanding, failed us. It failed us. We thought we know so many things, but we realized that until when we come to the crossroad, we don't even know what we are doing. And we start blaming ourselves or blame people around us or blame where we're coming from or blame our friends, blame the family, blames the or your offspring. So the question is, how do I get the wisdom? Who God is now that we need to become? Because if God is wise, so what he was saying is because I created you in my image and in my likeness. So what he was saying now that as he is the wisdom, you suppose also become a wisdom. The first thing that we need to understand that as a man that we got a limitation because of uh, we've been polluted. Our mind has been polluted. And the first thing to recognize that for you to know that our wisdom has been distorted is that true wisdom come to us when every one of us will realize that what we know about a situation around us, what we know about our own life, what we know about our circumstance is limited. That is why our thoughts and our imagination must now be realigned with who created us that we're supposed to become. So wisdom is not just wake up in the morning and think you know things. Is to have the humility to know that there's something that I lack. And without wisdom, we can never go anywhere. Without wisdom, we can never progress. This is the basis of everything that we do for our family, for your fellowship, for your friendship, for your career. But we should never make an assumption that we have this wisdom. But for us now to go back to the basis, we need to go back to the original intent of God, which is that we must realize that we lack wisdom. And for us to go forward in life, we need to realign ourselves who God is, because God Himself is wise. God Himself is wise. So now, how do I know that I have wisdom? I know that I don't have wisdom because when things that I do is not aligned with God. I know that I don't have wisdom with what every mistake that I'm making every day is bringing pains into my life. When you look into our family, there are a lot of things that is happening that we thought we know how to handle, but we realize that we don't know how to handle it. When we look into our marriage, you think that, oh wow, I know how to handle it, but you realize that you don't even have understanding to do it. But most times, what you know at a point is what you think you know. But what you know becomes invalid when what you think you know becomes a pain in your life and it does not give you a solution. So this is why the book of James says, if anyone lacks wisdom, if anyone lacks wisdom. So what he was saying is, What do you really lack in your life? What areas that you need wisdom? Do you need wisdom in your finance? Do you need wisdom in your marriage? Do you need wisdom to make a choice? Do you need wisdom to do things? So what is it's not putting to me and you now is that we need wisdom because wisdom is the basis of life. Why? Because God Himself is wise. God Himself is wise. So if He's wise and He created us, again, like I repeated before, like I said before, if He created us in His image, in His likeness. So what we're saying is, I have to be like Him. I have to act like Him, not to become an actor, but to be an image here and to bring the wisdom that He has deposited in me when He breathed into me to bring solution to humanity. So the expectation of God is that I'm here to bring the wisdom across all the generation. But how do I know that I got wisdom? So these are the things we are going to look in the next series of the videos. That because it's easy for people to say, "Wow, you need to have wisdom." The question is, how do I know I have wisdom? Or maybe I've already got wisdom. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't. Maybe even I'm acting in wisdom. Maybe I don't know. So these are the things we need to know because there's a confusion when people say, "Oh, you need to have wisdom." Then you are like me. I'm curious. Like, do I not have wisdom? Maybe I think because I've been to university, then I got wisdom. Maybe because I've been trained in certain area, I got wisdom. Maybe because I've just read a book, I got wisdom. What is this wisdom we are talking about? God Himself is the wisdom. God Himself is wise. So what we're saying is, I created you in my image. Then I breathe into you. What does He breathe into us? He breathed wisdom into us. But along the way, along the line, as we progress in life, God wants us to progress in wisdom. God wants us to mature in wisdom. But it's not a day job, it's a journey. Because when He created us, we didn't grow up, we didn't wake up in the morning and just become an adult. We didn't. There's a stages of life, and wisdom is in everything that He created, in His nature, in everything that you can see around you. Wisdom is there. So, but how do I know this wisdom? That's the question. That's the question. That's the question that we're battling with. That's the question the humanity is battling with. So, because what is a wisdom for you today, you think is a wisdom for you today, might not be actually a wisdom. The choice you make today that you think is a wisdom might not be a wisdom, and that led me to the prodigal son. The prodigal son, when he went to his dad, he thought he's making the right choice based on the wisdom that he knows. He thought he's making the right decision. That's what we call the wisdom of the prodigal son, because he made a choice. He went to his dad, give my inheritance. Genuinely, he was asking because he thought he can live alone. He thought he can make everything. He thought, and this is what that we many of us we can relate with that because most of the decision, most of the choices, most of the things that we do, or in a leadership, whether in the family, in everything that we have done in our life, we thought we know better. But most times, or at the end of the time, we realize that actually is foolishness. So the prodigal son make a choice based on the information he had. The prodigal son make a choice based on the information he thought is right. The prodigal son make decision based on the information that is going in his brain. So that is why the James now came around and said, look, guys, don't assume that you know everything. Don't think you know everything. If any one of you lack wisdom, come to me. To who? The one that gave us wisdom in the beginning, the one that created the world, the one that created everything that we can relate with, the one that brought us here because He created us in His likeness. So we should never assume and we should never presume that we know everything. So the first thing that I want us to understand before I leave is that the first thing you must understand, that the humility to know that you don't know is the basis of wisdom. The humility that, oh, wow, I don't know everything. And I'm not thinking I know everything. I'm not making it up that I know everything. That's the beginning of the wisdom. The humility to say, look, I don't know everything. And I'm not claiming that I know everything. As a leader, when you discover that you don't know everything, as a father, when you think you don't know everything, as a mom, when you say you don't know everything, as a youngster, when you don't know everything, that's the basis of wisdom. That's the beginning of wisdom. So in the next series, we'll be tackling how do I know that I got wisdom, or how do I develop in the wisdom that this man is trying to tell us. I will see you very soon. Thank you. God bless you.